our window open more. So okay. So it keeps the window open for us. You know what I mean? The social media and all of that. But at the same time, social media has allowed the door to stay open and allow for anybody to come in and do it. You know what I mean? So it kind of watered down, hip hop, but at the same time, it allowed for artists, like I said, like myself, to still stay, be able to stay relevant in your 30s. Like back in the day, it was like, who wants to hear a 30-year-old, 30-plus-year-old rapper that's, still trying to come up, you know what I mean? Or still, I mean, even still to this day, it's like, I don't think I would want to hear nobody in their 40s talking about, going to the club, trying to, you know what I mean? Like getting hoes and shit. I mean, I don't know. Whatever, it is what it is, but, you know, maybe if you're already been on that, you know what I mean? Like you've established yourself as that, and, it's like, okay, but as a newcomer, it's kind of like, you kind of got to figure out, what lane to push. You don't want to be out here sounding stupid, you know what I mean? Being older, and you don't want to seem like, you're trying to appeal to the younger crowd either. It's like, you kind of want to find your lane and, stick with it, so.
Most definitely. Okay, so yeah, connections. If you have any questions, also,
Okay.
answering. But I'm glad you started off with that question. Usually I just get straight to it, but I always try to
Yeah.
do that.
I think you threw me the alley with that one. I just got to talking and
Yeah.
sometimes I do
I like
that.
to.
So if I go off on a tangent, please bring me back. Like, hey, fool, we ain't talking about
Okay.
that. Come back.
Yeah. No, I always just sit there and listen. I'm a good listener, so.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
So, okay, just to start off, name, if you could spell it, your title, what you consider yourself, if that's a rapper, father, then your birth date. So,
Okay. Do I need the government name or rap name, or which one is better?
both, if whatever you would prefer to call yourself, but usually people be
Okay.
both.
Right. You can go by, I guess, Stan, Biz, in quotation, I guess, and Gilbert. So Stan first name, Biz would be like that's the rap name, and Gilbert my last name. What was the second question? Age or
Your title, then birth date.
okay? Title would be I don't know, what would I consider myself, I guess, like artist slash worker slash everyday life, like coach, personnel person, or Instagrammer sometime, or I don't know. I mean, I'm just, I
Influence.
guess I'm just living in the meantime. I think I hate to put a title on myself because it's like boxing myself in. You know what I mean? Like I've always had a trouble with titling myself, or I don't know. Like I've had that problem ever since I started. It's like I don't know what to call. I just like to do music, I guess, and whatever. But yeah, I've always had a problem boxing myself in though. And the third question was
Birth date.
birth date 11/6/85.
11/6/85. Oh, you have
Yeah.
a birthday coming up in 1 month.
Yes, well, as well.
85. Okay, and then what schools did you go to in Flint?
I went to
Grade school.
Southwestern. Middle. I mean, I went to Southwestern Middle School and high school. Elementary, I went to Manley Elementary. From the South Side, Flint, Regency, Terrace, Stonegate area.
Okay.
And then I moved over to the North Side. So I guess I don't know if those were going to be questions as well, but that's me going on my tangent again.
No, that was good to tell me. I'm always interested. What part of North?
Okay. I guess what, Selby Hood. So it's in between what, Fleming and Clio Road. So yeah, that's what we consider Selby Hood.
Okay.
I've been there since shit. Let me see. I might have spent more time there than let me see. We moved there around like 98 or whatever. My mom's gonna move there around there. He's still over there now. So yeah, I've been there maybe for about the past 20 plus years, really. Well, my mom has been there for 20 plus years. So yeah. So I guess I can, say I spent maybe 10, 15 years in the projects and moved to the hood for another 20 years. So
The hood. Okay. So just starting off, we're gonna get into like most of the questions now. How did you get into music?
Okay. So I've always been involved in music. I played like the clarinet and shit like that. My dad was a musician, so I've always been like musically sound as far as just trying to do something musically, as far as playing some instrumental or writing or whatever. But yeah, I've just been a part of music pretty much, I can say, my whole life. As far as the rap scene goes, I really didn't get involved in that till about sophomore year, maybe junior year of high school. Just something I picked up, seeing a few friends doing it. It wasn't popular like that back then. So when somebody hears that you rap, it was like, people laughed at you back then. It was like, what, you rap? Whatever. But anyway, I started in, my sophomore year in high school, and yeah, a couple homies was pretty much doing stuff in the basement studios and upstairs studio, and ran into another friend of mine who at the time had a situation with I want to say, I don't know if it was with Interscope at the time or not, but it was through, I forgot what situation it was through. I don't think we was with Interscope at the time yet. But yeah, I ended up linking up with him about my junior year of high school. And yeah, pretty much, the rest is kind of history. Sold some weed and kind of sort of just kind of got involved with rap. It seemed like that was the next thing, back then. It was like if you sold drugs or something, you was pretty much bound to pick up some kind of rap or something. So I kind of fell in that whole situation, and connected with my tribe back in the day, and yeah, just kind of push forward, really.
It was always there for you, huh?
Yeah. Pretty much.
So, what are some of your favorite musical or professional achievements? If you
Okay. Ooh. I can't really say I have any accolades that I can say, like awards or something. But I will say one achievement that I will say is again, going back to maybe early 2000s, 2004 or whatever. I was able to put out my first album. I was around maybe 18, 19 years old, and me and a friend of mine, Troy Garland, Tito Six was his name back in the day. That was the guy who pretty much, he had a situation with Interscope back in the day. So me pretty much being the artist under his label, I was able to capitalize off of that and put out my own album at 18. And the album was in FYE, it was in Target, it was in Best Buy, Music Planet. I had a little autograph signing in FYE. It was pretty much it was a moment. It was a moment back then. But other than that, I would probably say that was probably the biggest accomplishment thus far. I could be missing some things. I'm sure I'm missing something, but as far as I can remember, that was probably the biggest accomplishment so thus far. Being able to be a part of that situation, and actually I was able to talk to Steve Barman on the phone, which was at the time he was working under Jimmy Iovine and under Interscope. And yeah, it was, for me, that was, I guess, looking back on that time, it was unheard of. You know what I mean? Social media wasn't hot back then. So everything that you did came from leg work. You know what I mean? Like you had to literally pop the trunk of your car and take physical copies of CDs and, put them in these stores and, take your posters and put them in corner stores and flyers. And so, by us being able to, I guess, accumulate the steam that we did, to get, Interscope or whatever, kind of sort of to bag us, was kind of, it was unheard of at the time, unheard of. So yeah.
That's a great achievement. It didn't have to be like a physical award.
Okay.
So that was a good achievement to mention. Kudos to you.
Okay. Cool. Appreciate it.
Okay. Let's see.
Trying to figure out how I can set this up.
So next,
Smoke.
we're gonna go into how do you make your music. So
Okay.
where you could just talk about that. How do you make your music? Where does the creating process begin? Is it at home, in the studio, or even when you're writing at the library?
Life is my inspiration, really. It's been hard for me I'm not gonna lie, the past few years, it's been hard for me to like kind of create because of the space I've been in for some reason. Other people failed to, I guess, they don't understand, maybe, I don't know, but to me, I feel like it's hard for me to adjust to what's going on as far as musically, because of the music I'm making is, it is like, I'm more, I guess you could say, like I said, I would consider myself more, I would want to be more of a conscious, free thinker type of artist, but at the same time, it's hard for, it's hard for artists like us because, it's not what a lot of people would rather hear. So, I would have to go 10 times harder, to get my message heard or get it conveyed, because it's not being played over the radio or, or whatever. So it's been kind of, it's been kind of hard to find inspiration, what I mean, thus far. But, when I do find it, it usually just come from, just everyday life situation. You know what I mean? It to me, I find, I guess, I can pull deep with writing through pain. You know what I mean? Like, I can do it through, when I'm happy, having a good time, but at the same time, it's like I can pull out what I need to pull out when I'm going through some tough times in my life. You know what I mean? So it's a bit of complexity, you know what I mean? But, I guess every writer may have their, their niche, or every artist have their niche of where they draw inspiration from. So,
For you is life.
Exactly.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I definitely understand that, but we're gonna get into like the flow of music. So,
Okay.
Just to you, what is flow in your own definition, and what comes to mind when you hear that word?
Flow is how you flow is something that's subjective to me. Flow could be, is very much so how the individual look at it. Like, flow for me may be a different flow for you, or flow for somebody else, or whatever. But flow for me is just pretty much, can the artist can the artist keep the listener's attention? Is the is the, let me see, how can I put it? Is the lyrics there? Does it stick? Can you flow with the beat? Can you ride the beat good? You know what I mean? It's different. It's different, I guess, different levels of flow when we talk about flow for me. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
for me, it's the whole package. You know what I mean? You know, it's, are you attacking the, the beat properly? You know what I mean? Is it catchy? Are you, are you getting the listener's ear? You know what I mean? Is it making sense? Is it cohesive? You know what I mean? So flow is a few things. There's a few things for me.
Hmm. So if we go more in depth with, how would you define? You said, flow is a few different things, but how would you define musical flow?
Let me see. As far as, because I listen to a lot of genres, so musical flow is, I guess, anything that can resonate with your soul. I guess, you know what I mean. So musical flow could be, you know, shit. I don't, it. Like I said, it's subjective. It's subjective. So, uh, like music flow, like the past 2 weeks, I haven't listened. I really haven't listened to any rap. Like I've been listening to like Isley Brothers. I've listened to Commodores. I've listened to um who else I was listening to uh pretty much I've listened to 80s and 70s the past 2 weeks. So I guess for me, that's the flow I've been in. You know what I mean? So I guess it could be, it all depends on the space you're in, the person you are, you know what I mean? So flow is like I said, subjective. It could be, whatever space you're in, I guess. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm answering that question correctly, but
I mean,
yeah,
but
that's
I get what you're saying. By all means, it's like everything. I know you're saying, like I could see it in a different way, but I definitely want to see your side. And I
right, right,
feel
right,
like
right,
you're
right.
saying it's whatever, like you said, resonates with your soul. So
Right. That's just flow for me.
right,
Something that's it's like a puzzle piece. It's like, you know what I mean? Like you're trying to piece this puzzle together, and you have to have that right piece to get that picture. You know what I mean? And flow is the bigger picture. It's that, it's that piece. You know, it's something that completes you. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. For me, I have to listen to music every day. That's my flow. Like that I don't know. You know what I mean? That's
uh,
just me.
I get what you're saying. So how, like when you were just talking about the puzzle pieces
Uh-huh.
and putting everything together, so how do you achieve musical flow personally? Is that, like you said, just listening to what space you're in at the certain time, or but with
Yeah.
creating your music, how did you achieve, even though like you're not in that space right now, how did you
Right.
achieve that musical flow?
Um, I guess uh maybe I would say it was a formula of time and maybe time and producing, um time and instrumentals. And I say that because, you know, me as a writer, um, okay, like it depends on the time and the space you're in, and and the instrumentals. Like, okay, 10 years ago, an instrumental that I would hear today, I wouldn't have wrote the same thing, you know what I mean, 10 years ago, because of the space and the time and the instrumentals. Like I may not have picked the same instrumentals 10 years ago that I'll pick now, or 20 years ago that now. So I think it's just a formula of time, and does the instrumental or does the beat, can it do it? I guess, does it resonate with the space you're in? I guess, like I said, I vary. My flow vary. The way I put everything together varies. So I guess you would have to catch me on a certain space or a certain time to get a certain piece out of me, I guess. You know what I mean? Like for me, I write better at home. I flow better at home or whatever. So I guess in essence,
just to add to that, certain beats bring different like just hearing the different instrumentals that it may have horns playing, it may have some particular element that may bring something out of you, a particular energy that.
Yeah, pretty much. This is one of my good homies, man, Spliff. He's been down since day one too. So, if you write him in, Joe Spliff or whatever, he's solidified too. He's definitely solidified. But yeah, pretty much what he's saying. It depends on, the time you're in, the space it is, and the instrumentals. What type of instrumentals is playing? What is it,
because certain instrumentals may bring forth a different cadence or a different flow, so to say, within a beat that you may be, vibing to pull.
Yeah, I guess pretty much you can say that. Yeah, right. So I guess it would depends on the instrumental, you know what I mean? And, I guess the instrumental would be the canvas, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay, do you have a song? I was gonna ask, like, if you had an example to illustrate an example of good musical flow.
One of yours. Is it of mine? Let me see. A song or a whole album?
Either or, honestly. But
okay,
if you had one where you felt like it was, like you said, that time and space where you feel like it had that musical flow that gave.
Okay, this is what I'll say. I'll say this. Flow is pretty much the producer. The formula of flow is producer times the artist. So you have to have chemistry, you know what I mean, from the producer and the artist to have flow. So I'll say one of my examples of flow would be, I put out a project called Perfect Time, and this was about 10 years ago now. Wow, 10 years. And I did it with a producer. His name was AP. And like most of his sound is like a nostalgic sound. Like he's like, his samples is it hits the soul. And with the kind of artist I am, it's kind of like peanut butter and jelly. You know what I mean? It goes together. It's like when you find somebody that, that you guys could, that knows what the kind of artist you are and can deliver, it's going to mesh. It's going to come together. And that's basically another example of flow, I guess. You know what I mean? Is, definitely the producer and the artist. You have to have chemistry. There's no way that the producer and the artist could not have chemistry and come away with a good album. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could be in the studio with somebody that is like, okay, maybe, we're in a bad space, blah, 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 but we can both deliver still. So, we don't have to be the best of friends to deliver, but you know what I mean? As long as we can vibe off each other, you know what I mean? That's just pretty much what it is. So flow is, that would be one of my examples of, my flow, I guess, would be, the Perfect Timing album. But that's because me and the producer, we meshed well. He likes his soul samples, and I'm a soul music, lover, you know what I mean? So it just went well,
There we go. That was a good example.
There you go. See?
Right.
Okay. I knew I was hitting on something. All right.
Hitting on that one. So do you feel like you talk about the producing and everything, and
Uh,
we talked earlier about how, you know, Flint has a heavy music scene, but since it has evolved, do you feel uh if Flint has its own musical flow? I know a lot of people say we're kind of, you know, we have that grungy, that gritty
right.
sound,
You
but
know what?
your
I think
opinion.
we are starting to develop a flow again. You know what I mean? It was a time where I guess they would say a lot of Flint artists sound like we were from Detroit. And I kind of seen that, you know what I mean? But I can look at some of the artists that's coming up right now and kind of tip my hat off to them. Like, you know, like the Y&J. He has his own lane to where, you know, whether if you like him or not, he has his own sound. And he's, you know, and he's pushing forward with his sound. And I believe that you know, that right there should be some kind of stepping stone for us to say, hey, we can develop our own sound and keep pushing this culture forward. You know what I mean? But yeah, on that note, I feel like we're breaking out of the shadows of sounding like we're from Detroit, and we're kind of, you know, breaking out of, you know, breaking through our shell now, and we're finding, you know, we're finding our own lane. You know what I mean? Again, so yeah, it's slowly but surely starting to come back around to us having our own sound. You know what I mean? Again, it's gonna take some time. For me, I feel like it's gonna take some time for sure, and the time is being put in. But it's happening. It's happening right now.
Right. So I know you were born in 85,
Yep.
and even with the 90s, you know, that was the era of when rap was becoming prominent
Right. Right.
in the hood. But, you know,
Right.
so how do you feel how do you feel about that musical flow compared to now? And do you feel as if it changed or evolved
Uh,
heavily?
you know what?
Because you did live in that era, so
Yes. You know what? I can honestly say because it changed for sure. Like it has its levels, because I can say like today we listen to some artists and it's like, well, you know, they're vulgar, they're talking about this and that. But in the 90s, we had shit like Luke, and you know, you had your Freakniks and, you know, shit like that. So it's like it's pretty much been, you know, we've been pretty much sexualizing music and this and that. Not to say that it's right or whatever, but it's evolving to something else for sure. Like it's, I can't say that is okay. It is different. I will say that, but like you had more positivity records in the 90s as well. You know, like you had your, you know, Headed for Self-Destruction records, and you had your like, you know, you had Queen Latifah, you know, pretty much saying who you calling a bitch, and you know, shit. Like you had other records that was empowering, you know, back in the day. And you know, back then it was like uncool to be on drugs and, you know, and to be an artist. But now it's like, you know, they give praises to, you know, most of the guys that's on the drugs. You know what I mean? It's like if you're not on drugs now, you're not cool. So things have changed for sure, and it has evolved. Um, but you know, I guess it depends on how you want to look at it. You know what I mean?
right. So in your
Independence has came. Like I said, it's another one of those things to where, like I said, it has grown bigger, and as an independent artist, it has been, you know, um, monetized to where you can make money as an independent artist now, more money. You don't need your the majors, but you know, at the same time, you know, musically, some of the message, you know, as well has definitely changed. You know what I mean? Like radio, a lot of things for sure has is yeah, it's changed. It's changed for
right.
sure.
So for when it comes to the message, basically,
Yeah,
it definitely has changed.
for sure.
So how do you feel about that changing? Because I know you say it's harder for rappers like you in this time to actually, you know, like we was talking about earlier with social media,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
easily like get attention just for, you know, having a good beat and maybe not even talking about a raw message, but we have rappers that aren't even from Flint, but we had like J. Cole who came up off the scene, and
Right.
Joyner Lucas who speaks like the raw truth. So how do you feel about like that evolution of rap and what it has come to now?
I feel like that yeah, it has, like, once again, it has made the game, I mean the rap game has made, I'm trying to figure out how I can answer this, because you still have a lane for artists like that for sure, like J. Cole, you know, and you know, Kendrick Lamar's, not like, they show that there's a lane still for the conscious rappers. You know what I mean? If you still want to, you know, still have, you know, still put out your conscious message, there's still a lane for that. You know what I mean? But I also feel like there's poison out there too, you know. And you just have to be mindful of what you are of what you're shit downloading into your damn mind, you know, into your memory bank, man. You know, it has definitely become more I don't want to say freedom of, well, shit, I guess it I don't know. I don't know, you know.
I get what you're saying. I just know, like you said, there's different lanes now. So it's not just like it's
Yeah,
one simple lane, and there's more opportunities for
exactly.
people to create that lane. Most definitely.
For sure. There's definitely more opportunities. You know what I mean? Like, but back then I will say that there were more artists that didn't sound the same and look the same. Now you have a lot of artists that do sound the same, look the same, and I guess they feel like this is what you have to do to make it. Back then, radio, we didn't care, like artists didn't care about radio back then. Really, hip hop didn't care about, like, I was just listening to like, I listen to Fireside, and Fireside, in most of their album, they'll tell you like, hey, you know, they got a skit on there where a chick is like, hey, you know, I think I heard your song on the radio, and forgot my man name, Fireside, but he's like, nah, you ain't hear us on the radio. Nah, you ain't, you know, pretty much they like, nah, we ain't trying to be on the radio. That's not what, you know, what hip hop was about back in the day. It was underground, it was raw, you know what I mean? But nowadays, it's like I said, it has changed to, I guess it's been commercialized. Everything has been about, you know, money, and, you know, which is cool. You want to get paid for, you know, for your work, but from then until now, like, it's definitely more gritty. You know, it was more gritty in the 90s. You know, I was a meth head. I was listening to a lot of Method Man, you know, Wu-Tang. So that was my idea of rap back then. You know, I didn't never see a lot of them cats flashing money, or, you know, they wasn't doing a lot of that back then, you know. So that's what I grew up on. That's what I remember. But, you know, nowadays it's like I said, it's totally different. You know what I mean? So as far as, you know, the flashiness and, you know, and shit like that, it has changed for sure. Because like I said, back in the 90s, it was uncool to be on the radio. It was like, okay, well, shit, you went commercial, you went pop when your shit was on the radio. Back then, it was like you wanted to be as underground as possible, you know. So yeah, there's levels, you know, there's levels to it. That's definitely has changed, man, you know, just from what I can remember anyway, you know.
So yeah, the musical flow has changed.
For sure.
For sure, most definitely. So getting into more of the mental side and the mental aspect of rap or music, mental flow is like being in the zone. So how
Right.
would you define mental flow?
Mental flow is that's from the soul. That's just strictly your soul talking. That's, you know, um mental flow is not caring about what anybody else is doing. You don't care about, you're just like you said, you're in your zone. You're not thinking about anything else. Mental flow is, that's more of a conscious. This is just, what I feel like. This is when you're talking about mental flow, now you're talking about, more of the conscious side of, of flow. You're not in it for the money. You have a message to convey. You have something to get off your chest. It has to be said, and you're direct with your message. Anything other than that, it's, you have, I'm not going to say you have a motive, but, that's when it becomes, it's not about, it's not about the soul anymore. You know what I mean? Like you want to get to the bag, which is, and I'm not saying, because you got mental flow, you don't deserve a bag. You're not trying to get to your bag, but when you're in your zone, it's more so you have a message that that you're trying to get off. You know what I mean? Hey, no. Sorry about that. I'm sorry.
Right.
But yeah, that's just, my partial definition, of mental flow.
Right.
If I answer that correct,
Right. Even earlier you talked about time and space.
Right.
How do you personally reach mental flow, even when you did music, or how you talked about your Perfect Timing album?
Right.
Did it take a long time?
You know what?
At those moments,
it's day by day. Like I wish it was something that I could flick on and flick off. You know what I mean? Like it's a space that you have to be in, and it goes with, like I said, it goes with whatever instrumental or production that you decide to listen to. So just say if, like I may want to write a record that has nothing to do with my mental space. Like I might want to write a record that's fun or whatever. Like I'm not thinking about anything from the soul. I don't want you to think about anything. I don't want you to think. I just want you to feel. So I might be in a space of, okay, well today I might want to write a record to make people feel instead of think. And then, you might, the next day you might hear an instrumental, and might say, well, shit, I want people to think today. Like it could change with the weather. You know what I mean? Like it could be gloomy outside, and now they may put you on a mental space of saying, okay, I want people to think, or it could be, like I said, sunny outside, and that might can put you in a mental space of saying, okay, well, shit, I want to have fun. So I want to listen to a fun record. So I think it depends on, your time, your space, location, everything, could definitely mean, could definitely have a have in hand in, and writing abilities and, and flow and everything like that, because I can write a different record in California, you know what I'm saying, at the beach or something, versus at my mom's house in the hood, you know what I mean, which is, it's two different spaces. So that will put you in two different mindset, so it all depends. Everything is, it's a formula. For me, I would say it's a formula: time, space, location, production. It's all a formula, weather, it depends. It all could depend,
I think even how you highlighted or touched on life,
right,
can definitely put you in those time and spaces also, to
for
reach that
sure.
mental flow. Yeah, and I get what you're getting at that with like
Okay.
day to day.
I hope I'm staying, on subject with a lot of this stuff, because like I said, I can get to talking, and you ain't told me to come back down to earth yet, so I guess I'm all right.
Yeah, nah, you good.
Okay. All right.
So would Perfect Timing be will that album be another example of of mental flow, of how you reached it because you were going through life,
Yeah.
or even if you just reflect on how you felt mentally trying to finish that album?
Yeah, for sure. I just think with that album, it was I think it was is exactly what it was. It was perfect timing. I think it was the space I was in, the space the producer was in, the timing of it. Um, Everything just kind of meshed together at the time. You know what I mean? And it just worked. You know, it worked. We tried to put together, like, after he moved, we tried to put together a part two, and it wasn't the same. Like, you know, we tried to put together a few records, and it's not the same as if you're in the studio. You know what I mean? You guys are sharing the same energy, the same vibe. You can, you know, go back and forth with each other on what you like, dislikes. You know, like I said, yeah, the time, space, all of that has to be the formula of, you know, of a cohesive and a good project and a good body of work. And perfect timing was just, I think it was exactly what it was. It was just perfect timing for that, you know, for that particular album. I don't think it could have happened. It couldn't have happened no other time than that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that was just the perfect formula for that, you know.
Just coming on like the few last questions.
Uh-huh.
So when do you feel like a song is done? So, like,
Ooh, that's a good question,
yeah.
because I would leave a song unfinished. Like, I have a ton of records that's unfinished, or I would do a record and I would still feel like, you know, maybe I put my verses on it and it might not. I mean, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for me, you know what I mean? Because I've had records that's unfinished and people have heard it and been like, nah, that's cool, leave it alone, just like that, that's cool. But in my head, I'm like, it's unfinished, but if you like it, okay. You know what I mean? Or I may have a record that I feel like it's finished, but somebody else may hear it and say, well, shit, I think you should go back and do X, Y, and Z. And, you know, I'm a construct, like, I take constructive criticism. Like, I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, well, it's not your record, you know, don't tell me what. Like, yeah, if you hear a record, if I give it to you and, you know, and you give me your honest opinion and you tell me like, oh, you should go back and do X, Y, and Z, and I hear it and I feel like that may fit, then, you know, it's unfinished until, you know, we get it done. So I think it varies, you know, it kind of varies on, you know, how would I feel like a record is finished. I feel like it would just have to resonate with you as an artist. I think it's the same thing as, you know, if I was a painter, you know, if I was painting a picture, as the painter, you know, only you would know, you know, if it's finished or not. You know what I mean? And that's just, you know, I think that's just how I kind of look at it, you know. It's to my it's 50-50 for me sometimes. Like, I give it to my listeners, and if they feel like, you know, it's finished, they like it, don't do anything else to it, don't touch it, it's done, it's finished, okay. And then sometimes I may say, you know, like I said, it's all about me. This record is all about me. If I feel like it's finished, you know, it's finished. If it's not done, I'm gonna, you know, until it's done right, you know, it's finished. So, you know, it can vary. It can vary, you know.
So
I think a finished record varies, I guess, by record, from record to record. You know what I mean? So,
you
you
just
know,
got some gems sitting around.
yeah, something like that. Something like that. A few of them. A few of them.
Yeah. No,
A
I
few.
definitely.
I've been stacking for some years. I mean, I got a few records. I just haven't been inspired to put anything out because I think I've been so engulfed of views and I don't have enough followers. And, you know, I think I'll let that, you know, overpower the real, you know what I mean? I think the real, I guess the real matter of just putting out the music. It don't matter if 10 people listening or 10,000, you know, put it out. You know, you got 10 people that's riding with you, 10 people that's like, you know, hey, whatever you put out, I'm going to listen to it. So at least do it for them. You know what I mean? And I have to get that in my head, whether it's 10 or 10,000, do it for your tribe. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just had this conversation with, you know, with it's another artist named Nug that's from here. We've been bouncing back and forth off each other for the past few months or whatever, but he's another dope artist that, I feel like he should get, some light shine on him for sure. That's from this area. But yeah, yeah.
No, most definitely. I feel that. You know, it's your masterpiece at the end of the day. So, like you
Yeah,
said,
and man, and with music, you is your masterpiece, but you want to do it for your listeners too. You know what I mean? And and at the end of the day, I still feel like as artists, we should take the responsibility of pretty much, I guess, overlooking our content a little bit more before we drop it, because there's kids listening. You know what I mean? So we got to understand there's a younger generation that's probably listening to us, and whatever we say and do, regardless on if we like it or not, we're influencing another generation. So like a lot of artists would say, well, I'm not here to be I'm not here to be a role model or X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you have the spotlight on you. So you still have a responsibility and a role to play, regardless on, if you want that role or not. That's what you signed up for. So not to say that every artist should make a conscious record or whatever, but I'm just saying you should be more, mindful of what you're putting out there to the public, man, because you got kids that's listening to you. You know what I mean? So, I don't, even though this probably wasn't in the question, but I just felt like it was something to say that's on my heart. You know what I mean? As far as, I just feel like artists should definitely take more responsibility for their records, man, because these babies is listening. You know what I mean? And it's us, man. It's us. If they're not gonna listen to nobody else, they're gonna listen to the rappers. They're gonna listen to the artists. If there's no father in the household or mom or whatever the case is, the next person they're gonna listen to is either the person in the streets or the artist. I mean, I'm a product of that. I know. My dad was in and out the house or whatever. Not to say he wasn't a good dad, but still, I still picked up on a lot of shit in the streets and from music artists. So I just feel like a lot of artists should definitely take more responsibilities for their records, man.
it was good to mention that. Most definitely. Okay, so we have about 5 minutes, but
Okay.
um, once this is over, hopefully you can get the permission doc back to me if you can figure
Okay.
it out.
I
And
mean, even if I don't, do you need it to drop? I mean, just for good measures, you're gonna need it. But I'm letting you know, like, you have permission. If I don't find out how to, how to figure it
okay,
out. You know what I mean? So I'll let you know.
yeah. Either way, like even if so, I could probably fill it out for you if you want to do it on the phone.
Okay. Okay, cool.
If you don't figure it out, but yeah, because I think she's pretty stern about that. But
Okay.
also, I'm I would like a top 10 list rapper from you.
Oh,
Your rappers.
that's the hardest question. Now, out of all the questions, that was probably
But
the hardest.
it doesn't have to be now. It's just
Oh, okay.
it
Okay,
has to
cool.
be a list. And then you can
Okay.
give me photos if you have
Okay.
any of like you
Okay.
rapping or even like your perfect timing album.
Okay. Got you. Do
Yeah.
you want me to send it to your email?
You can send it to my email, like
Okay.
the
Okay.
list and the photos. So either or is
Okay.
fine. Like if you send it to my phone, that's fine because it
Okay.
ends up going in the folder. But and then if you can't figure out the the permission doc, then we can end up figuring that out together. But
All right. So just in case, I mean, am I following you on Instagram? I think that was you. I think.
yes.
Okay.
He
Could
said
I send something on Instagram and just DM or something because I think I have like a lot of pictures on IG too, but
yeah, you could send that too.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to use I just want to make sure I can use all avenues possible of sending pictures. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was just one avenue you want me to just send everything through.
Yeah. I mean, it's
But,
easier if we just like stick to one.
okay.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Cool.
But yeah, if you have any questions for me, like I'm open. But other than that,
Okay.
I thought it was a dope sit down.
For sure. For sure. Definitely dope. And I apologize that I couldn't get to you much sooner.
Oh,
You
it's fine.
know.
It's fine.
Okay. All right.
Life
All
happened,
right.
like you said. I'm
Exactly.
probably waiting for
Exactly.
some gems to drop though. So I was gonna ask, is Perfect Timing on any like streaming apps or
It's on. Is it on? What
It's
is it?
on Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. Yeah. So you can type in. I think you might can Google like BIZAP .bandcamp.com. And I don't know if it should come up. Like it should be like a little picture of when I didn't have hair and yeah, a couple other things. But yeah, that should be on there. So it's on there. Bit is BIZAP. Okay, yep. Okay, so yeah, BIZAP. So BizApp, I guess if you spell it, BizApp.bandcamp.com.
okay. Is that biz with the exclamation point or is just
No,
Okay.
BIZ. Yep.
Do you still use the exclamation point or is it just
Yep. Exclamation point still. Yeah. You know what? In this interview, actually, I'm not even gonna lie to you. You actually inspired me to get back to work. You know what I mean? Because I think after I talked to you the first time with Randall was on the phone and all that, like I was working, like, you know, I work on music here and there, you know what I mean? And, you know, I write to music, you know, here and there. But like I said, the space I've been in has been like, I've rather, hold on one second. I'm sorry. I'd rather just sit and watch from afar. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of the space I've been in when everybody else has been like, why? Why are you just, you know, why you should be, you know, in it, you know, in it right now. Like mad people have been saying, you know, hey, let me see your phone right quick, bro. Mad people have been saying, you know, I'm losing out. You know what I'm saying? I'm losing. I need to put out some music. You know what I mean? And they've been on my ass for it. So if nothing else, you know, that's been kind of inspiring me that people have been on my ass about where's the music at. But more so, I think this interview as well. Like, I think the fact that, you know, people have actually reached out and said, nah, get this nigga, you know, on the documentary, you know, has kind of been like, damn, you want me for real? Like, I'm just I consider myself, you know, I'm just I'm a little guy now. You know what I mean? Like I'm on the outside looking in, you know, but still, you know, you still have a lot of people that looks and say, nah, you know, like I respect the things that you've done, and you know, I still respect what you do now, you know, and you need to put some shit out. So I think a little bit of everything has been keeping me afloat of getting back out there and putting out more music, you know, and just trying to stay active again, you know. So I want to thank you for sure. So once again, I just, you know, I appreciate it. Thanks for at least, you know, looking me up, you know what I mean? And you know, taking the time out to have a sit down with me, man.
No, definitely no problem at all. I'll definitely be reaching out more.
Okay.
See what you got going on, so you won't.
Okay.
You can't be on the outside looking in no more.
No, I'm not. Like I said, after this interview, I swear you put the battery in my back. So I'm gonna definitely make sure that I'm gonna let it be known that, you know, you had a lot of you know, you had a lot of I guess power, I would say, in, you know, getting me back inspired, you know, and wanting to get back in motion to put out something, you know, whether if it's a 4 or 5 song EP or something, I have to do something, you know what I mean? So I really do appreciate it for sure.
Yay, you're welcome. I'm glad both of us fulfilled a mission.
Right, for sure.
All right. So whenever you can get those things back to me, if you want me to send you a reminder text too, I can.
Okay, do that for sure. Like, definitely send me a reminder, because I smoke and I forget. I'm not gonna lie to you. I damn near forgot. Hey, right. I almost forgot that we were supposed to do the interview today. Like I said, I got off work, I was tired, and I'm like, shit, I got something to do at 2. So Yeah, I just remember like at like 155 or something. Like I think it was like 159. I jumped on like shit. But okay,
I got you.
definitely keep in touch.
I got you. I'll send that reminder text tomorrow.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you keep in touch for sure, and you be safe, man. And anything new that's going on with me, I'll shoot you a holler, and and vice versa. Keep in touch.
Most definitely. Flintstones gotta stick together.
You got to. Are you? What year in college are you? What's this?
I'm a junior.
Junior. Okay, so you got another what? 2 years before you out.
About one.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about this year. Okay. So what are
Well,
you?
I mean, I'm a little early. I'm ahead, so.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, that's what it is. And you're going for what you going for? What you doing now?
I'm doing journalism. I want to do news anchoring, broadcast journalism, but yeah. But honestly, right now, I've been taking a lot of different classes, and my mindset is changing. So I'm putting my foot into different waters right now, just to get everything. But
so as a junior, you're still like you don't know what you wanna graduate in, huh? Wow.
But I minor in broadcast and sports, so.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay. So you're sticking in the same realm,
right? But I also write for Flintside.
Okay.
So I've been doing that since January. So writing feature stories, I've been liking that. So that's why I said doing this interview isn't like a job to me. It's more so like I like it,
Okay, that's what it is. Because I was hoping I wasn't over there making you sweat. Like I wish this nigga would shut up so I can get to the next question. But
oh nah, I feel like if you're doing that as a journalist, maybe that's not like the right path for you. But
right.
To each his own. Some people just get the job done, but I try to see. I'm always open to different perspectives. We all grow up differently, and we all
for sure.
So.
And I can tell this is what this is a passion for you. This is not nothing that you just like, all right, hurry up. Okay, I got something to do. Okay, but like this is a passion for you. So like I said, again, I want to thank you because like I said, your passion rubbed off on me, and now I want to, I'm inspired to to go forward and keep going,
Yeah, just go for it. Honestly, that's all I'm doing. I mean, it's always hard. Here, let me stop recording.